Okay, so we've got a little knot in the top so that we don't have any filter media coming out, and it's going to go back in this third chamber. And I'm going to kind of tuck it to the left against the wall because there's one more thing I want to check. So I got to really get my arm down in there. Next to the filter, next to the pump, there is a filter sponge. And we want to just make sure that this has not gotten really gunky. So grab this and pull it out. This is kind of a small hand job. Okay. Ha. All right. There we go. So this catches any big chunks of anything, whether it's big chunks of food, big chunks of poop. It will be brown if it needs to be changed. Now, I got the big foam block from Petco, the Marineland large pour foam, and I cut it into 4 pieces. Now this piece, because initially I had a little bit of a cyanobacteria problem, which is similar to an algae bloom. Once that was all filtered out and I had changed the block a couple times, I've had this same block for about 6 weeks, and it looks fine. So right now it's doing nothing but holding beneficial bacteria, so I'm just going to slide it back into its little spot. There's a little notched plastic sliding spot for it to go. So then I've got my filter media over here on this side, and we're going to grab that phosphate remover and drop it back in there too. Okay, so we are all good to go. You may see some little tiny critters that look like tiny miniature lobsters. They are super beneficial for your aquarium. They're called amphipods. They eat tiny little bits of garbage, whether it's food or poop, and they help break everything down to get it to that chemical stage. So now that we've closed everything back up, we're going to reach back and plug our pump back in. Ideally, it's better to dry your hand off first, so don't electrocute yourself, kids. Okay, so we've got everything back running. It's going to be a little cloudy for a second, because remember, we disturbed all of the sediment in the tank by pouring new water in. But that should be fine in just a second. So I've got my clowns in my holding tank, my hospital tank. So in preparation for sending them to a new home, I gave them a full antibiotic treatment just in case, because we don't want to bring anything that may have been existing in this tank into their new home. So it's always good to do that just as a courtesy. A lot of buyers will use a dip, but it's very stressful for the fish, so I like to do it this way so that they're all set to go, all healthy and clean. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to vacuum the bottom, because we've got some fallen food and stuff there. And of course you've got your macroalgae here that is soaking up the nutrients as well. The prep medication doesn't hurt the macroalgae, but it will kill corals. So we always want to do everything with this small tank after we've done everything with the big beautiful display tank. Okay, so we're going to vacuum this one out now.